Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Jen Joy Crafts. I'm Jen, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make some really cute fall place card holders. You'll need to stop by the Dollar Tree and pick up their Tumbling tower game, and we are going to be using these blocks to make the place card holders. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Also, I'd appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up. Okay guys, let's get started. These are the materials that you'll need to make these place card holders. The first thing is going to be from the Dollar Tree, and it's this Tumbling tower game. We'll be using these to make our little turkeys. Also, I picked up a bag of these leaves. The ones I got are from Hobby Lobby, or you can go out into your backyard and use some free leaves that have already fallen on the ground. So also I'm going to need some wood glue, and this I use Gorilla wood glue. And then you are going to need some paint, a paint for the base of the turkey, and I'm going to be using this mustard color. You'll need a couple additional paint colors. You'll need yellow, red, white, and black. I do have a couple paint pens that I had on hand that I'm going to be using. If you don't have paint pens, that's okay. This is just what I had on hand, and I wanted to go ahead and use them. So the first thing that we're going to do, let me move everything out of the way. And I have these are plastic cutting boards from the Dollar Tree, and these come, I think, 2 or 3 in a pack, I can't remember. But these are great for crafting on, especially with something like this where we're going to be gluing these tiny blocks together. All right, should have opened the box already. And I think around Christmas time they come out with even bigger boxes of these. I think there's like 72 blocks in there. I think they come out around Christmas time, I guess, like stocking stuffer items. All right, so I'm gonna get this cut open. All right, and there's gonna be, again, plenty of blocks in here to do what we need to do. And I'm gonna be making 6 today. Obviously, I'm not gonna make all 6 in the video. I'm gonna show you one. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna get 3 pieces. Sometimes the heights are a little different on these, just the way they're cut. I've had some that are a little longer than other pieces. So you're gonna make sure that you get the pieces together and that they look about the same height. And then I'm going to put my glue. I'm actually gonna put a little bit on here. This will make it less messy if I just put a little bit on here, and if I use a Q-tip to apply it. And so all I'm gonna do is just start putting the wood glue. If you don't have what I'm using, this plastic cutting board, I would put down a piece of wax paper. Alrighty, so basically this is how you're going to make the face. And I'm just kind of giving it some pressure here. I'm going to go ahead and glue the rest of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them on this piece of plastic, and I'm going to wipe away. I can see right here some of it oozed out. So I'm just going to take a little piece of paper towel and rub that away. Okay, and then the rest of them I would continue to make on this plastic board. Then I would put a heavy book on top of all of them and let them sit and dry. So go ahead or I'm going to go ahead and glue the rest of my pieces and work on that, and then I'll show you how we are going to paint them. So here's my little square that I made. The glue has dried, and I went ahead and painted it. And the paint I used was an acrylic paint, and I used the color mustard. I just thought that color was gonna look good with the leaves, which are gonna be the feathers. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to draw a face on this little block here. I just looked on YouTube and I looked up how to draw a cute turkey face. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do the eyes. And I found something that I can trace around. And so I just found a pen that had a round bottom. And so the eyes, I'm gonna have them not in the first block here. I'm gonna have it in the second block, right where the second block starts. I'm gonna just go around this here with my pencil. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go around and draw my second eye here. Alrighty, so here are the eyes. They're all drawn. And I'm going to use a black paint pen to draw my eyes. And oh, here it is. Okay, I was gonna say I lost it. I don't know where it went. And so I'm just gonna color these circles completely in black. We'll be going back and adding some white to the eyes when the black paint dries. Alrighty, so I got my eyes on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and draw the beak. And to do that, I'm going to start, trying to think where I want to start it on here. Probably about right in here. I'm going to draw like a little dot and I'm going to work. That's where I'm going to put it. So the way I would describe how I'm going to draw it is kind of like a football shape. So I'm going to go up kind of in an arch like that. So there's the top of it. Okay, and then there's the bottom of it. So I called it a football shape because I kind of felt like I went an arch on top and an arch on bottom. Doesn't look exactly like a football, but that's the best way I could describe it. Okay, now we're gonna draw, I have no idea what this is called. I call it the gobbler, the little red part on the turkey's face. So again, don't know what it's officially called, but I'm gonna go ahead and draw it. And I'm just gonna go down. I'm going down, going into a little hook. Then I get closer in. And then it's on the corner of his mouth, right there. So I'm gonna paint the beak with orange acrylic paint. And then for the other part on his face, I'm going to use my red paint marker. Obviously the paint is all wet on here, so I'm gonna have to let this dry before I continue work on it. However, I do have one that is ready to continue that has already dried. So let me grab that over here. All right, so here's another one. The paint's already dried on it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my white paint marker and I'm gonna work on the eyes. I'm going to draw a little half circle at the top of the eyes and a smaller half circle at the bottom. I'm gonna color this in. Then to outline the mouth, I'm going to take a Sharpie. This is the ultra fine point one. And now I'm going to do a little smile. So here's the face. You can see how I outlined the beak and the other part of his beak that I don't know the official name of. And then the eyes, they're looking a little funny, but I'm going to go back around and make sure that the white parts have a black line around them. And so I'll have to wait to do that part on the eyes because that white paint is still wet. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you one of my completed ones. And again, like I mentioned before, you know, each one of them is going to look a little different, have some character to each one. This one here, I'm going to make a girl, obviously. You can see the little eyelashes. I'm doing 6 of them, so I'm gonna have 3 girls and 3 boys, and I'm gonna be putting bows on the girls, like a hair bow, and then the boys are gonna have a little bow tie. I've already made one little bow, and they're just gonna both look like this, and I'll show you how I did it. So this ribbon right here is 3/8 of an inch, and I cut it about 1.5 inches. I'm using a little hot glue. I'm going to loop the ribbon around, place it on top of that hot glue, and so we made a little loop. And I'm going to flip it over, but I'm going to make sure that seam where I glued them together, I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but there's hot glue everywhere, but you can see that seam where I glued it. So I'm going to flip it over and make sure that seam's in the middle. So here's the ribbon that I'm going to use to tie the loop in the middle of it so we can get that bow shape. And this ribbon is 1/8 of an inch. And you're just going to tie a piece off. I'm going to flip it over so the seam side is facing me right now. And then I'm going to tie it in the middle. So here we have the boy and the girl. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we got to do the feathers, and so I'm using these leaves as I mentioned before, and we're not going to need the whole leaf. We'll probably need, so you'll see how much I'm going to use here. So I'm going to end up cutting some of this at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. I'm trying to see which one I want to do for the guy. This one, I think I'm going to do maybe this green color. You know, they're all going to look different, all be unique. So I'll cut off some of that. Okay, I'm going to glue the leaf on the back, but I'm going to be very careful that I don't glue the whole back to the leaf. You're going to want to leave a little part that's not glued because that's where the name's going to go when you stick in their piece of paper or cardstock for the place card holder part. So I'm just going to hot glue just a little bit right here. You can see how you have that little place right there that you can stick in the place card. Alrighty, so look, they're coming together. They look so cute. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a back to them so they stand better. They will stand on their own, but just to give it a little more security, because if someone shakes the table, they'll probably topple over. So I'm just going to take one of these blocks, and I didn't paint this. I'm not going to paint it. I'm just going to leave it the color that it is. And you're going to want to put it on the back like this. And because of that vein in the leaf right there, it's probably not going to lay completely flat. So now it's time to make the actual place card. I'm going to use some white cardstock, and I'm going to use this punch I have. It's a 2-inch scallop circle, and I'm going to have to end up cutting the circle in half because 2 inches would cover up the leaves. If you don't have a punch, you can just simply cut out a rectangle out of a piece of paper or a piece of cardstock. And here's the whole crew of the little turkeys. I'm so happy how they came out. It's really great because you can change those place cards out since we didn't glue them. And so these can be reused and the names can be changed out. And this would be a great project to do with kids as well, because they could do the faces on the turkeys, and that would be fun to do as a family. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for stopping by.